If your career no longer feels right, but you have no clue what you want instead, you're not as stuck as you think. I'm Joanna, and I've reinvented my career more than once. Most recently, I left a 20-year career at companies like Spotify and Meta with no plan at all. And the process I used to find my way next led to coaching and a podcast that hit number 2 in careers on Apple Podcasts. I'll walk you through that same process. You'll figure out whether your resistance is just being new at something or a sign this really isn't for you. And you'll leave with one small experiment to try this week. Every career purpose video seems to tell you the same story. One day it just clicks. You wake up and suddenly knowing exactly what you're meant to do. Well, that's not how it happened for me. There was no lightning bolt. I didn't have one obvious passion. I don't even really have hobbies. I wasn't even a podcast fan before I started one. And if you don't know what you want either, that's normal. It doesn't mean you're lost. It just means you don't have enough information yet, and you don't get that by overthinking it. You get it by running small experiments and noticing what they tell you. When I decided to leave, what I knew was clearer than what I didn't. I didn't want to keep living the way I had been, traveling constantly for work, another airport, another hotel room, another week when I barely knew which country I was waking up in. And the strange part was, these were things I used to enjoy. I loved traveling. I liked the energy of a regional role. But eventually, even the nice parts stopped feeling nice. I was exhausted. And I think this is where a lot of people get stuck. You think you have to know where you're headed before you're allowed to admit your current path isn't working. You don't. Sometimes knowing what you no longer want is the first clue. Not the answer, but somewhere to begin. From there, I started doing a simple energy audit. I paid attention to which parts of my work gave me energy and which parts consistently drained it. Another alignment meeting about an alignment meeting? I think I was good with that. Learning something genuinely new? That still lit me up. Coaching came up. I had no idea if I wanted to do it professionally, but taking a course felt manageable. It was structured, I'd learn something, and even if I never coached professionally, I'd still come away with a useful skill. So I did it, and coaching turned out to be a real yes. It also showed me, though, I wanted a place to share my own ideas and help more people at once, which then led me to the podcast. That is the level of certainty you need at the beginning. Not a 10-year vision, not a perfectly articulated purpose, just enough curiosity to take the next small step. So you take that next small step, and then here's the trap. You try something new and immediately think, I don't want to do this. But that reaction can mean 2 completely different things. Are you resisting it because you're new, uncomfortable, and not very good at it yet? Or because you just generally don't enjoy it? One may simply be the tax of learning. The other is useful information. And knowing the difference can save you a lot of wrong turns. When I launched my podcast, I didn't record video for the whole first month. I told myself there was already too much to learn, recording audio, editing, distributing, promoting. But the real reason was that I felt uncomfortable on camera. I wasn't polished, and it was easier to tell myself video just wasn't for me. That wasn't dislike, that was a fear of being new. Eventually I started filming, and I'm glad I did. It opened up a whole new way to connect with people, even though I'm still learning. Video editing was different. I tried to teach myself because I thought, surely I'm an independent woman, I can do this on my own. I went down a very long rabbit hole. Tutorials, the software, all the tiny cuts and layers. And I realized I truly do not enjoy video editing. It wasn't fear. I just secretly didn't want to master it. I didn't even want to touch it. I lost myself. So now I outsource it without the guilt. The same words pointing in opposite directions. Once you understand that distinction, the next question becomes, what exactly should you test? One question that helped me was to stop asking, what job should I do? And start asking, what kind of ordinary working life do I actually want? Not your fantasy life on a beach where nobody has responsibilities. You're allowed to dream that too. But for this exercise, we're talking about the normal Tuesday, 2 years from now. Do you want to spend most of the day with people or have more time alone? Do you want stability or freedom, creativity or influence? Do you want to advise, lead, teach, Or make something? You may not know the exact title yet. That's fine. Don't start with the title. Start with the kind of life the title needs to support. So here's the experiment I want you to run this week. Pick one version of your future you're curious about and find the low-stakes way to try it for real. Curious about coaching? Talk to someone who does it and ask what the work really looks like. Want to build something? Make the rough first version. Eyeing a new field? Take a class or volunteer for a project. Afterwards, write down 2 things. Did it give you energy or drain you? And if you wanted to stop, was that because you genuinely disliked it or because being a beginner felt uncomfortable? Don't ask one experiment, of course, for your whole answer, but ask it for one honest piece of evidence. The next episode is all about that move, how to plan your reinvention without blowing up your life. Not a reckless all-or-nothing leap, but the real trade-offs, and a small test that tells you whether the direction is actually worth it. It's coming next week, so hit subscribe and it'll land in your feed the moment it's out. If you want a head start now, the first episode in this series is linked below.